Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Home Studio Simplified channel. This channel exists to simplify the complexities of the home studio and to help you create professional sounding music in a less than professional space. Whether you're making it or creating it, you're doing the same thing, so that's all that matters. The motto around here is that we can dream together. No, what is that motto? We can create together. We can achieve alone. No. Now, all of this is about togetherness. So even though we can dream alone, or we can even create alone at times, the premise behind this entire channel is that together we can achieve so much more. So how about we dream together? How about we create together? And together we achieve so much more. Little twist on the slogan today. Just feeling a little reminiscent, if you will. So with that being said, let's give a huge shout out to a sponsor here of the channel. Has been since pretty much day one. The good old folks over there at 𝗏𝗏 Academy. Today's video is sponsored in part by the 𝗏𝗏 Academy. The 𝗏𝗏 Academy offers affordable courses from mentors, world-class engineers, Grammy winners, and multi-platinum selling producers. And with the resources available on the 𝗏𝗏 Academy, you can learn how to create radio-ready mixes from the comfort of your own home studio. Most of the courses also offer multi-tracks that you can then add to your portfolio and begin to build out your business. Follow the link in the description of this video to head on over to the 𝗏𝗏 Academy today and start learning the skills that are needed to take your hobby or your business to the next level. That being said, if you're looking for stuff and you need stuff, go check out their website for stuff. All right, so we have a live Q&A today. And this doesn't have to be Cakewalk specific. This can be anything. If you want to ask, what my favorite ice cream is, you're more than welcome to do so, which if you hung around the channel for very long, you already know what that is. But do I have a slapback delay? I'm sorry. I'm not intending to have one, so if I do have, let me see if there's something I've done here to cause that. No? Not really seeing that here. Okay. No. Don't have a cold that I know of. Oh, only during the sponsor ad. Gotcha. Okay. I can probably fix that. I'll do it later. So yeah, that's going to be incredibly hot. Sorry it took me so long to jump on here. I had literally just got home, was just able to get a shower, fix something for my son before my wife gets home. So we actually had some frozen pizzas, which are always good. But yeah. I'm going to try to go back through the chat here and we'll pull up some questions. Notice that the questions are not showing up here on the screen anyway, so let me fix that. There we go. This was a question that Big Poppy had earlier. And he wanted to know, am I messed up on time? And that was mainly because of the post, I guess, that I had posted this either in the Discord or somewhere. Had came up and said that it was like at 7 a.m. or something crazy. So yeah, everyone keeps telling me my voice is getting deeper. That possibly could be because I just came off of having strep throat. Or it could be because of the fact that I haven't really, I've been straining my voice lately, basically screaming in the pillow. No, I'm just kidding. with copious amounts of coffee, the voice may even get deeper. Okay, so let's go back here and do. Okay, so we have a first timer. Let's give him a big round of applause. This is 𝗧𝗵𝗲. He says, what steps do I take to become a composer, sir? So as far as composing music, I'm assuming that you're meaning like in the sense of doing this like as a, maybe like, I'm trying to think of the word right now and it's eluding me. In the sense of like an orchestral arrangement. To become a composer in an orchestral arrangement, if that's what you're talking about, there's schooling for that. You have to know copious amounts of, why am I using this word copious all of a sudden? Dubious amounts of music knowledge must be known. You also need to obviously be around the right people so that your group of individuals that you're around can help you as well. Now, if you're talking about a producer, which is something that most of us here on this channel are, there's no really like one-stop shop of how you become a producer or how you begin producing or composing music. For one, I would say it definitely has to sort of, it can't be forced. It has to be something that you already lean into, that you love to do. It can't be something like another mountain that you've got to climb. It can't be, some kind of something that's done for self-gain only, because obviously it doesn't make money, for one, unless you sold your soul to Satan, or two, it can't be forced in the sense or coerced in the sense either, because it's not going to come out in its truest nature. So first and foremost, if you're going to become a producer, you have to love music. You have to be already creating music of some kind, whether it's, beatboxing, whether it's tapping the pads on your MK3, and formulating beats, whether it's playing a real instrument and putting all that together into, a cohesive experience like a song or something like that. But there is no really like, dot this I, cross this T, follow steps X, Y, Z, and boom, you're a producer, you're a composer. I wish I could say it was that easy, but it's not. It's really just a journey, and everyone's journey is different. So find people that resonate with you, that are willing to share their knowledge. Maybe I don't resonate with you, but at least I'm trying to share some knowledge here. But find those people that resonate with you, that are able to help you in some way, shape, or form, and always place yourself around people that are, 1 to 2 steps higher in education level, or they're 1 to 2 steps better in arrangement already, or they're 1 to 2 steps better at the instrument that you currently play. If you surround yourself with individuals that are struggling themselves, and you try to, basically like pick everybody else up to where you're at, you're never going to grow. So you have to find yourself in a place where you can actually grow. And the only way to do that is to surround yourself with people. I'm not saying leave those other people behind, that need picked up by their bootstraps and helped. But at the same time, like, try to find a good group of friends that are able to basically just pick you up and elevate your thinking and show you things that even you don't currently know with your skill sets. Very long-winded answer to a very short question. I should have probably just stopped at, I don't know. Oh, and hello there to you as well. Hello to everyone in the chat. It's good to see all of you. Good evening, afternoon, wherever you might be. Good morning, maybe even. Shalom. Shalom to you. Okay, so Big Poppy Mark says, I bought Native Instruments Complete 14 today. Good or bad? You tell me. I don't know. I don't know. Native Instruments Complete 14, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, because I just recently purchased, or I didn't purchase it, the company gave it to me. I believe it's an entire suite. I don't think I have Native Instruments. I think I have, let's see, Reactor, Machine MK3 control panel, Massive, Complete Control, Control Editor. Yeah, I'm not honestly not even sure what I've got of Native Instruments now. I still haven't figured out how to wrap my head around this whole Native Instruments system. I did find, okay, so in the instrument section, I do have like Drum Lab, Ethereal Earth, Glaze, Contact Player. So I guess I've got some stuff. I just don't really know how to use it, or if I'm going to anytime soon. And I've just queued stuff for download that I don't need to be queuing while I'm trying to stream. That's not going to work. Anywho, well, it looks like the Rickenbacker bass is about downloaded already. Anywho, with that being said, that would be a question really posed towards you. You bought it, so is it good? I think what you're maybe really asking is, because I don't want to sound like I'm being rude or facetious here, but you're asking, is there anything good in that instruments pack or anything bad? I couldn't personally answer to that as of yet because I haven't really played around with mine too much. But I do know that individuals like Jurgen and Crackley, especially Mark George, those are a couple here in the chat that I've seen already. I haven't seen everybody who's in the chat yet. But those are individuals that I know work a lot with synthesizers and MIDI instruments and elements. They could definitely tell you maybe like a good starting point of where to start at. But anything that's going to, I guess I could answer it the best way as like this, that anything that is going to forward you creatively and to inspire you to do more, obviously is a good thing. So. And basically, DJ just summed up what I said in like 5 minutes in one small sentence. So, yeah. Okay, so Shepherd's Voice says, I recently picked up playing the bass again. Haven't had a lot of time with it, but because I got my eldest brothers, who passed 3 years ago, sorry to hear that, vintage guild, that he puts his own paint job on. Oh, cool. I'm sorry. I thought that was I thought that was a question, but it's fine. That is really cool though that you got the instrument passed down to you, because a lot of times, especially when family members pass, like everybody that you don't even know comes out of the woodwork and they're like, "Oh yeah, I love that person so much. Let me take this from them." So the fact that you actually got that, that's awesome. Okay, so a question from Strat50. This is our good friend Joshua Helms. He asked this one on Discord. He said, and by the way, thank you, DJ, for roping that into here. He said, could you describe your journey learning the guitar, whether you're self-taught or you took lessons, and who are your musical influences? So my main musical influence right off the bat, and just to answer the first portion of this, I started out playing guitar at 17. I picked it up, put it down, picked it up, put it down from 13 until 17, really. I would say 15, but 17 is whenever I felt like I actually started accomplishing things. I wasn't just noodling for hours. But basically, my dad was playing a Rush 2112 album in the other room. I heard Alex Lifeson's guitar work, especially on the 2112 Overture. And if you guys have not heard that, it's an amazing orchestral piece. It's completely instrumental. It's amazing. But that guitar work itself drew me into the bedroom, and I was like, what are you listening to? What is that? And he goes, oh, it's Rush. It's the 𝗏𝗏 album. And then I started to hear the individual sing, which at the time I didn't realize it was a male. So when Geddy Lee started to sing, I was like, man, this is some really cool music. Who's the chick singing? And he was like, my dad rolls his eyes, and because he was a huge Rush fan. So I basically just spat on it in his face, and he was like, no, that's Geddy Lee. He's a man. And here's the record. So I said, yes, please. I took it back to the room. And at that time, I actually did have an old record. I mean, this thing was huge. Took up half my room. A record player that my grandmother had given me. And I put that thing on there. And because records are the way they are, you can kind of like play a portion of it, back it up, play a portion, back it up. I did that for hours, noodling around on the guitar until I found just one string. Just, you know. And then I was like, okay, so I've got one string down. Where do I go from here? And that's really where it all kind of like catapulted from there. I never have taken lessons. Although, you know, I say that, but I've played with other individuals a lot. Like we'd sit around in a room and play guitar together. And that's kind of like taking lessons, just you're not paying them. And then slowly but surely, like it just started to take root to where I am where I'm at today. Like I can read tablature, but I cannot read like chord charts. I mean, I can to a certain extent. I know what a G, C, a D, an E, an A minor, an E minor. But when it comes to like, you know, play a flat major, I don't know, F major 7 dominant, I'm like looking at people going, I'm sorry, don't know where you're at, but I can find it here in a little bit. So I do play by ear, and I can read tablature, which is probably the worst way to read guitar music, but it does help. It does work. And then from Rush, I sort of started branching out, and I liked, and still do to this day, I like a lot of different styles of music. So I was listening to bluegrass. I was listening to Southern gospel. I was listening to black gospel. I was listening to contemporary Christian music. I was listening to, of course, this is back in the day, but I was listening to like Tool, Rancid, Green Day, Nirvana, Soundgarden, Alice in Chains, like you name it. I was all over the place. But when I got into the stage of my life, when I was like probably 16, 17, is when I started actually I felt like good. We formed a band, and I really got into like jam band music. So like Fish, Grateful Dead. What's another great one? Not really a jam band, but when you hear them live, like Dave Matthews Band, that's kind of like a jam band. Snarky Puppy. I mean, on and on, you know. The jam band scene is basically, we play one song, but we play it for 30 minutes, and you don't know that we've already switched into 4 different songs during that time. So I really liked that aspect of it, because it was, to me, it was like very fluid, and you could just play kind of what you wanted to play. And if you had a good band behind you, you guys could kind of like read each other enough to know like, hey, I'm going to get ready. I'm going into this song without anybody saying a word. And so, obviously Jerry Garcia's guitar playing really inspired me. But Trey Anastasio of Fish was one that I always was like, that's amazing, because he could be playing something very jazz, very off the cuff, syncopated, and in weird time signatures. And then he could go right back into something like super simple. Some of the songs, like he would break into something where it would almost sound like some like rock, easy listening style music. And it was just, his style was just very fluid, and he could make a guitar solo, even though it might last 6 or 7 minutes long. He could make that guitar solo interesting that entire time, which really caught my attention. And so I took a lot from him as well. That was I'm getting really good at these long-winded answers here. 𝗏𝗂 𝗧𝗵𝗲 is all up in here. Yeah. Mark George, Midnight Blue Music, Crackly Software. Good to see you guys. Okay, the slapback delay. Mark George's first question, how you doing today? Actually, I'm not doing too bad. I'm tired, but other than that, not doing too bad. I thought after sending the email out last night, I thought it was really going to hit me today when it all finally like set in and I realized what I was doing, because a lot of my identity is actually tied to this channel. A lot of who I feel like I am or how successful I am in life or anything like that is tied into everything that I've been trying to build the last 10 years, especially with the website and the podcast and I have poured myself into this tirelessly. I have given so much time and effort, and that was just to build it up to the small place that I was at. A place that once I realized after I filed as a real bona fide business, that I found out then that the IRS is going to charge you $5,000 right off the top because they love small businesses and they want to make sure that the economy is booming. And so I found out real quickly after last year, I owed $10,000 in taxes. I was able to pay $5,000 of that because of my earnings, like various like write-offs and stuff that you could get for owning a business. And then all of my costs that went into it. So my, internet usage and you name it, all of that added up to where I still owed $5,000 after it was all said and done. And so it was hard to send the email, but it's something I have to do. I don't know how long it will last. It may be indefinitely. But essentially it was a decision that I had to make. I'm still doing good today because of it. I feel like I'm doing the right thing. I have been sort of transitioning into this role of the program as a program director for what we're calling Freedom Alliance. And I've been spearheading this whole thing, getting the curriculum together. And this is why you haven't seen a lot of videos posted from me lately. I've been chomping at the bit, working behind the scenes, burning my candles at all the ends that you can burn them at. Because every Thursday now at 5 p.m., I have a meeting with individuals to help them conquer their addictions. And so I've been putting together curriculum for that because we don't have any. And so knowing that I'm heading that direction, I figured it would be unfair to those of you, especially who are paying like $9.99 a month for a VIP membership that I'm barely able to even put that much time into. And I haven't been releasing videos on YouTube. I haven't been creating courses. I really haven't been doing a lot because I've been focusing all on this, and with good reason. This is something I'm very passionate about, and I love to help people at the end of the day. But I do feel like that this is going to help people in a broader sense, and in a sense that, everything that we do here on this earth, even these, businesses that we try to build and these things that we try to accomplish in life, everything that we do ultimately is going to end up null and void at one point in time. When we breathe our last breath, we have a lot to answer for. And so I came to this conclusion that, as much as I love doing this and as much as I love getting what little bit of pay that I was getting for it, because I felt like it was actually, I was actually reciprocated for the time that was invested. It was just never enough, just to be honest. And I'm not a marketer. I'm not an individual who can keep selling you stuff every day and sending you 50 billion sales emails and all this other stuff to try to, that's just not me. And evidently, I don't know. I think the reason, I'm just rambling now. I'll just shut up. Essentially it's crushing in one sense because I feel like all of the work that I put in is just kind of null and void now. But I do know at the end of my life, all of this is not going to be like, I'm taking none of this with me. So everything that you do for Christ and everything that you do for God, that's being placed away in a spiritual bank account that you can reap the rewards from for an eternity. and the things that we're doing here and now, even though, you know, I could boohoo on your shoulder all day long about how I wish I could make this my full-time job and all of this, it's just not feasible. And so I thought the best way to compensate everybody who still needs help or wants help or still wants the community aspect of this would just to give it all away for free. And honestly, I kind of feel like I've been doing that anyway. So that's what we're doing. And so please, if you have a VIP membership, feel free to cancel that, because at the end of this month, it's going to go away anyway. And I don't want you to pay $9.99 for the rest of the month or whatever it might be, just to see it close at the end of the month. So I believe the 23rd or the 26th is the day that I've chosen. Yeah, the 26th will be the cutoff date, and then everything will transition to the free, which basically is going to be so the website is now going to be free. In other words, I don't have to pay for the website hosting because I'm going back to the old website, which in my opinion, I think still looks good. It just doesn't have all the bells and whistles that the other one has. So it will look, actually, I'll just show you real quick. It will look like this. So this here is going to be, and if you remember the old website, it looked identical. I've just kind of like spruced it up a bit with the new branding look here. And I'm still working on the back end to make sure that all this is on the up and up. But essentially everything that you had on the old website is going to be here. It's just going to look a little bit different. And then the VIP group is actually going to be held on Facebook. As much as I don't like that, it's, well, Facebook and Discord. As much as I don't like this, I also do like this because I've actually, believe it or not, Facebook has been kicking it up a notch and has been implementing some things that Discord has. So it's going to actually make it easier to stay in touch with everybody, which is one of my big hangups the last time. So they have been trying to improve that. I see that they're only going to improve it more as time goes on. So yeah, but all that will be free. And then over time, I'm going to start trickling out my courses on the YouTube channel and on the Facebook page and everything for free. So, this business model, if you want to call it that, I've already had several people reach out and be like, you're throwing this away. All that time has just been in it, which doesn't help, obviously. I appreciate all the encouraging emails that I've gotten in response, and the people that are like, I'm happy for you. I'm glad that you're doing what you feel is right. Thank you for all of those. And for the individuals that have tried to basically tell me that everything I'm doing is a stupid move. That was a small plane that just went by on the road, or someone that just doesn't have a muffler. And to those individuals, I do appreciate your concern, and I appreciate your opinions. They're always welcomed here. But this is something that I have to do, and I think if historically, if you went back on the channel and you watched from day one, I have given away more than I've ever sold anyway. And so this has always been my heartbeat anyway, to give. And so if you own the Cakewalk course, you're still going to own the Cakewalk course. You just won't access it on the website. You'll access it on YouTube, or you'll access it in the VIP group, because now everybody is going to have access to it. It's going to be free, which in turn is going to allow me to start producing content again, because now I'll be able to release, module 1 of a 20 module series on Cakewalk, and people will be able to follow along with me as I go. And I won't actually have to create that content. It's already created. I'll just be releasing it for the world to see. So it's going to play out, I think, in the best way possible. And it's also still going to be tying in with the theme around here, which is still helping people make awesome music. That will also buy me time to get more settled into this new position, so that when I'm able to take the reins again and find that balance that I need of being a program director for a drug and alcohol abuse rehabilitation program and a YouTuber who's trying to help individuals, a home studio owner who's trying to help individuals make better music. And we're still going to be hosting the monthly song contest and all that stuff. Once I find that balance, then there might be more, stuff focused towards the channel again. That's not stuff that you've already seen, but bear with me during that transition time, because even though I'm releasing this stuff that you've already seen, there's a lot of people I feel like that maybe haven't. And so this would be a great time for you, if you've never supported monetarily and you've always wondered, like, what can I do to give back? This would be a great time for you to, as these videos are being released, like let's say I'm starting to release the Ultimate Cakewalk by BandLab tutorial series. Let's say module 1 gets released and, you know about it. You could be like, hey, and tell people on Facebook, hey, there's a complete Cakewalk tutorial course that's getting released online for free. And, this used to be a paid, I don't know how you want to say it. I'm not going to tell you to do that, but if you wanted to help, that would be a good way to do it, just to bring eyes to the channel again, because the whole premise behind all of this is to help people make music, help people get off drugs. And you never know, maybe at one point in time, they'll just blend together and it'll become like I'm going to help you write a song about getting over your addiction. Who knows? Like, only God knows. So yeah, we'll move on now to the next question that's been up on the screen for a while, but I've been rambling for an hour, so sorry about that. Crackly Software wants to ask any more thoughts or insights into the changes at Cakewalk. I've emailed my connections within Cakewalk and they have ghosted me, which is just another, kick in the pants kind of to everything else that's been going on, which is fine. I've supported Cakewalk all of these years. I'll continue to support it just simply because I know it's a good DAW, and I'm not just going to kick these guys to the curb because they're not answering my emails or holding up to their end of the bargain on several different occasions. But I will try my best to give you any new information, as it's coming. What I do know that I can tell you guys is the Cakewalk Next. Actually, let me bring it up here. It might be the easiest way. So they did a little bit of rebranding, as you guys already know. Let me pull up my desktop real quick here. Yeah, so they did a little bit of rebranding, as you can see. There's Cakewalk Next and there's Cakewalk Sonar. So from what I understand, Cakewalk Next is going to be kind of like a desktop version of BandLab. And this one is also going to be compatible with Mac. So if you're a Mac user, you'll be able to use it as well. And if you're a PC user, you can use this one as well. You can also sign up for a beta if you want to test it. If you want to request beta access, you can do that here. And then Cakewalk Sonar is going to be exactly what we've all been using now. But from what I understand on this, and this is just what I've heard on the forum and stuff like that, is that essentially it's going to be like Sonar Platinum, which is pretty much what Cakewalk by BandLab is now, but with a lot more stability updates. They're also going to be updating and bringing back some of the old legacy plugins. I've already heard tell that they're going to be revamping the way things look and the way that they react. So hopefully going forward, it's just going to be a lot of cool stuff. As far as prices are concerned, I've not heard anything about prices, but I do know if Ming continues to basically treat things the way that he has been in times past, then it's going to be very affordable. So I can say that. I don't know what kind of a price point we're looking at. I wish I could tell you more. Like I said, they're not getting back with me, and there's not a lot of information on the forum about it either. They're being rather hush-hush about this, and I think it could be in part due to what just happened with Waves, and maybe they're like, we don't want that happening to us, so we're going to try to figure out the best way to do this possible. In my opinion, it would be to actually reach out to the people that have been supporting the program for a long time. People like me, 𝗧𝗵𝗲 𝗧𝗵𝗲 Chernobyl Studios. I mean, on and on the list goes of individuals that have also done a lot with Cakewalk in the past. Reach out to them and say, hey, can you help us with this transition to make it a little bit smoother? And, you know, here's some perks you can give your audience to make them feel at ease about this whole transition. Because I guarantee you, like, a lot of people are just not at ease with the transition. And I don't blame them after what just happened with Waves. It's kind of like, got a bad taste in our mouth still. So that's my insights on that. I wish I had more to give you guys. I really did, but or I really do wish I had more to give you, and I really did. Boomer Bill screaming in the pillow. Perhaps it's spending too much time in 𝗬𝗂 𝗬𝗂𝗀 shoes. Yeah, that's a possibility. How about we agree to not talk about the cakewalk thing? Okay. 𝗕𝗲𝗂𝗀𝗃 says, do you think AI is going to kill sync licensing for artists? I don't. I think with anything that AI purports is going to be, you know, this awesome tool or whatever it is that's going to help you crank out all this other stuff, or with that being said, you know, there still has to be a human element to anything. And there's a lot of companies that's getting called out about this right now. Like, I had people emailing me and telling me, oh, dude, have you tried ChatGPT? Do you realize that you can write all of your content with it? And immediately I felt like gross. I was like, ugh. Like, why would I extract myself from my content without putting the effort and the time in? That just doesn't feel right. And maybe it's because of the generation that I come from. But I feel like that same sort of scenario is just going to continue to play over, because, I mean, there's already websites getting busted for this now. There's individuals getting busted for this because they have an AI website that can tell when it's been AI that's written something, and it's calling people out, and they're like, oh, so-and-so thought he wrote this article and it's actually AI, which is kind of sad because it's creating a bunch of like overnight experts, industry experts that have no clue what they're talking about. And if you take them and remove them from their blog or from their video that they've got scripted, and you ask them about something, they can't even answer the question. So I don't think it's going to kill at least the real individuals who are doing it real, like for real. So yeah. Audio production is a never-ending learning experience, so be prepared to constantly learn. Good, okay. Shepherd's voices telling me how to make a hot toddy. So I think I've been kind of doing this the entire time anyway. But yeah, thank you for that. I'm glad that you would allow me to just sort of vent on you guys, because that's a lot of times it's good for the soul to just sort of do that. Timmy Tommy, good to see you, buddy. We have a first timer up here in the chat. And Audio Sound Doctor. Good to see these individuals. Haven't seen them here on the chat before, so I'm glad to have you. Massive complete control reactor sounds like NI complete. Oh, okay. Native Instruments Complete 14 comes in different tiers. Standards, Select, and Ultimate. It was the standard. Okay, so you guys are conversing about that. Cool. Crackly Software. This bloke found me through SoundCloud, and we are now pretty good friends. Oh, cool. Yeah. Have a full version of Reactor. Never used it, to be fair. Ba-do-do-do-do-do. Love the grand piano. Robert, you go the way you want, and I respect that, and you are a good person. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I had to put it up on the screen so other people could see that too. Sweet. I am so glad to hear that you are putting albums out now, because I know whenever we you first started posting stuff, you were kind of like hesitant to post anything, and then all of a sudden you started blowing everybody out of the water with your amazingness. So yeah, it's good to see that you're putting out music. That's awesome. Okay, so Tobias Schneider, hey, let's give him a big round of applause for being a first timer. He says, do you like bluegrass? Abso-stinking-lutely. I love bluegrass. In fact, one of my favorite songs right now, bluegrass-wise, is Where the Soul of Man Never Dies. Now, there's a specific one, and I want to say it's Ricky Atkinson, or no, Earl Flatt and Scruggs. Flatt and Scruggs. Actually, let's see if I can find that here. Yeah, Tony Rice and Ricky Skaggs. This is one of my favorite versions. There's a lot of them out there.
As everyone else digs in their heels, are you willing?
So the cool thing is, now that this channel is not being monetized, I don't have to worry about playing stuff like this. So we're going to listen to this song because I think it's awesome.
Experience in real.
To Canaan's land, I'm on my way, where the soul of man never dies. My darkest night will turn to day, where the soul of man never dies. Dear friends, there'll be no sad farewells, there'll be no tear-dimmed eyes, where all is love is joy, and the soul of man never dies.
That guitar work is amazing right there.
The love light beams across the foam, where the soul of man never dies. It shines and lights the way to home, where the soul of man never dies. No sad, there'll be no sad farewells, there'll be no tear-dimmed eyes, where all is joy and love, and the soul of man never dies.
I guess I could sing some bass now.
The rose is blooming there for me, where the soul of man never dies. And I shall spend eternity where the soul of man never dies. Dear friends, there'll be no sad.
Anywho, that's a great song. So you asked me if I like bluegrass. Absolutely. I love bluegrass. Honestly, I was raised on some bluegrass. So yeah, great question. Midnight Blue Music says, you are a good mad, Robert. No matter what you do, that will not change. You're right. I'm a very good mad. I had to put it up there. What's your take on the new changes coming from Cakewalk? Jim Patrick says. We covered that just a little bit ago. My take on it, though, as far as like, instead of like, what do I know about it? My take on it is, I think it's a step in the positive direction because, and this is my thoughts on this. Maybe I will make a video at some point in time about my thoughts on this, as if my thoughts actually matter. But my thoughts on this are, up until this point, it's been really hard to tell people how awesome Cakewalk is, because when you tell them it's free, like your eyes are bugging out of your head and you're like, it's free, it's amazing. And they're going, oh, it's free. And in the back of their mind, they're going, yeah, I don't know. If it's free, it's got to be junk. So, no, I don't think so. So with that being said, I think it's a good step in the right direction because it's going to add value to it, firstly. And then secondly, there's something that, I don't know, when you tie a price tag to something, it just innately makes it more valuable. Like, it makes people use it differently. For instance, if you give somebody a really nice guitar and they don't play, they may pick up the guitar from time to time, they may not. If that person buys that guitar because they want to play, they're going to play that guitar a whole lot more because now they've got some skin in the game. They're invested in it. So I feel like it's going to make people use the DAW more and try to figure out more about it, which is going to help, the music community in general. So that's kind of my take on it. I think it's a step in the right direction. I really do. And even if I have to end up paying for Cakewalk, if that's what I've got to do, I will. Because unlike the Waves debacle, I feel like they're going about it the right way, for one. For two, like, they're giving plenty of notice to people. And for two, I don't think it's going to be astronomical. I don't. And I've already seen that they've already been trying to update and add support, and they've got tons of money to throw this direction. So it can only get better, in my personal opinion. Not much point right now anyway to be doing any videos teaching Cakewalk since it's changing. It's really not. It's not changing at all. It's just they're attaching a pay scale to it. But the nuts and bolts, the under the hood stuff, is not changing at all from what I understand. Like, if anything, they're just gonna add more stock plugins and stuff like that. So, but yeah. I wish I could pronounce your name correctly. I'm going to say it's 𝗵𝗫. Says, can you please do a shout out to my 5-year-old daughter? Her name is 𝗬𝗲. She's a big fan. All right. Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to give a large shout out to 5-year-old young lady named 𝗬𝗲. We love you. That's really cool. I've never been asked to do that before. That's really cool. Thank you so much. And I'm not sure why she's watching this channel. Maybe it's just my voice. Maybe it's my goofiness. I'm not sure. But for whatever reason, thank you, 𝗬𝗲, for watching the channel. Appreciate that. Jürgen says, your work by no means is null and void. You've built this community. Thank you for everything. Absolutely. And that's the point I want to make too. Like, this community is not going away just because I'm closing up shop, so to speak. The community is still going to be here. The monthly song contests are still going to be here. Like, everything is still happening like it was. It's just now you're not going to have to pay for it. So, which after that whole speech about when you make people pay for something, they see more value in it, I guess everybody will just devalue everything that I do now. So I don't know. At the end of the day, I've got to do what's right for me, though, and what's right for my family, and what's right for my convictions, and what's right for moving forward, and to get out of debt, obviously. So. Do. Ooh, that's a good point. I never even thought about that. Wow. Let's see here. Oh my goodness. I think I'm missing like a ton of questions here. Music here, music here. I just work on cake and take a walk and see where I go next. Nothing you're doing. Well, thank you for that blessing, Shepherd's Voice. Appreciate that. Yeah, I don't think there's going to be any major changes to the software. As far as transitioning, 𝗓𝗏𝗧𝗵𝗲, hey, by the way, first timer, good to see you here. Transitioning to another DAW, I will not be. I'll stick with this probably till the day I die. Cakewalk has changed. It's not working for me anymore. The MP3 export is driving me crazy. I'm not sure why. I've not been having a lot of issues with that lately, so I'm not sure. Just not sure why. Question: TikTok live and charging phone at the same time. That's probably not the best question for me. I'm not sure. I just deleted TikTok. Actually, I did it during one of our meetings because I was telling individuals how that building better habits is going to be better to, like, obviously an addiction is not just a habit, but it can become habitual, just like cigarettes. You know, you eat a meal, you go out and you smoke a cigarette. Sometimes you just do it without even thinking. Or, you know, you sit down to have conversation with friends and you pop the top on a beer and you don't even think about it. You're drinking it before you even know that you're doing it. It's sort of habitual. So one of the things that I talked about was building better habits in your life. And one of the ways that you can do that is by eliminating things that are time consuming so that you can focus on things that are going to actually build you up and make you a better person, a better individual, a better version of yourself. And so in doing so, I told them, I said, actually, I've went down that rabbit hole where I'm scrolling through TikTok for 30, 40 minutes and I've got nothing accomplished. And so I'm going to delete TikTok. And I did. And I can't say that I've missed it at all. Cakewalk stopped working for you too. That's weird. Chapti Hindustani Gamer, what is up? Good to see you here. And a big shout out to Mike Jones as well, which I think is the first timer. So he has asked the question, do you miss Michael Jackson and what's your thoughts on his last tour? This is it. You know, I'd feel like he made an indelible mark in the music world. Do I miss Michael Jackson like I miss my grandmother? No, I miss my grandmother a whole lot. She was my rock, my fortress. Michael Jackson did a lot to entertain the world. He made a lot of great music. But when I am down or I'm, you know, doing something that I feel like is impacting the world around me, I'm not thinking, I hope that Michael Jackson is smiling from wherever he's at. And, you know, I'm always thinking, I hope my grandma is looking over the balcony of heaven right now and smiling on what I'm trying to do. However, it's sad either way when someone passes from this life to the next. So. So everybody's moving over to Studio One, are they? DJ works for Studio One, came in here to corrupt everyone, which is fine, by the way. I didn't mean that in the real sense. Because, I mean, to be honest, whatever DAW you want to use, it doesn't matter at the end of the day if you're making music. Do you have an audio interface of choice? And if so, what one? I really like Focusrite stuff. And I've got a Focusrite 6i6. Apart from that, that's an 𝗵𝗵𝗀 Mini 2. I've got one of those as well. It's a solid interface. I think anything created in the last 10 years is really pretty stellar. So Jim Patrick says, how are you finding the drug culture in the U.S. and how do you stop it? So it's different for everybody. But for me, I have a backstory that I think ties into exactly what I'm trying to purport. And that is, hold on a second. I gotta, so the drug culture in the U.S. is not good, obviously, especially in the smaller cities. You would think in larger cities it would be worse. It's worse in the sense that there's more people there doing it because there's more people there. But statistically, if you look at the actual statistics of, person to person ratio versus who's using and who isn't, in small cities, it's actually worse because a lot of people don't have enough to do. They turn to drugs, or it could be the fact they don't feel like that there's enough opportunities for them because of where they live. And so they turn to drugs. There's a whole wide variety of reasons why someone might turn to drugs. But in my personal opinion, I think the way that you fight it or the way that you stop it is to turn people to something that's higher than themselves. And it worked for me. I was a heavy drug user for 8 years of my life. And in one single day, in fact, it's coming up, August 18th of 2003, I said goodbye to all of it because Jesus Christ came, he entered my heart, he took over my body, literally, filled me with the Spirit. And when he did that, all of that addiction left my body. I didn't have 1 ounce of DT or withdrawal. I didn't have even a craving. And I haven't had for over, 19 years. It'll be 20 in August 18th of this year. I haven't had a single craving. And that's because of the power of Jesus Christ working in my life. And so I feel like that's the way to stop it. Introduce somebody to Jesus Christ. Introduce them to his saving power. Introduce them to something that is higher than themselves, and there's none higher than the Most High. It's going to be ironic when Robert's empire expands. I've never saw myself as building an empire, but I mean, I do actually feel like that by kind of like Herky had said earlier, when people see that I'm not doing this for money at all, I think it's going to make people, like he said, trust me even more than I hope you already do. And if so, then by all means, if I can be the guy that will help people without making them pay money for it, then by all means. And that's not to say that, somewhere down the road, I don't go, hey guys, listen, I finally got all my bills caught up and I'm ready to give this a shot again. Now that we've grown to the point where I think I can actually make it a profitable business. So if you would like, we're going to open up a VIP membership again. I don't know. And I might just not. I don't know. We need more cowbell. I just bought the Minifuse 4 and I'm very impressed. Okay, cool. Speaking of great free stuff, free plugins are amazing. So here's a good one. Disc Jedi Panoramics says, what do you think of people like myself that can't play but make music? And as I'm not a musician, what should I say that I am? I would say you're still a musician. Being a musician doesn't mean that you can play an instrument, in my personal opinion. My personal opinion is that, you know, if you're making music in whatever way that you're making music, even if you're just taking loops and flying in loops and chopping those up and making them sound unique and arranging them in such a way to where it creates some kind of cohesive something. Sorry, I was reading one of the comments here. I was cracking up. So whatever you're doing, as long as you're doing it to make music, then absolutely. I would call yourself a musician. Absolutely. Nothing wrong with that whatsoever. Okay, finally. Oop. Please do a shout out for my daughter, 𝗬𝗲. Okay, I did that once, but you know what? Why not? If she's a big fan. 𝗬𝗲. So glad that you're watching, young lady. I'm glad that you found the channel to be interesting, and I hope that you've learned something while you're here. Remember, I know that you're young, but try to learn as much as you possibly can every single day, because learning can be fun. And whenever you find a channel or you find somebody that can teach you something and make it fun, that's awesome. And learn as much as you possibly can, because knowledge truly is power. And I believe, 𝗬𝗲, that in your life, as you begin to learn and you begin to grow, you're going to find out that you're a very special person, that you have a purpose on this planet, that God has put you here for a reason. And we don't know what that reason is yet. And maybe even you don't know what that is yet. But I would just ask that you would pray and you would ask him every single day, Lord, why did you put me on this earth? And what can I do for you? And I guarantee you some big things are going to come in your life. Mike Jones, I just actually got to see his, what do you call that? Your picture there. And it looks like a donut guitar. Is that a thing? Because I would love that. He says, although not everyone's willing to pay the ticket price, so you'll have less audience to teach to is the concern, whereas a free program always guarantees an audience. That's true. In the long run, yeah. As long as you're helping people, that's what matters most. You better not disappear on us into tunnel clouds. Yes, this video will be saved, and you can always go back and rewatch whatever part you'd like to. So yeah. And now I've done a second one, so there's 2 times. Leon says, I found you on TikTok. Oh, well, I mean, the account is still there. I just deleted it off my phone, so I wouldn't be tempted to watch it for hours upon hours. I use Focusrite 6i6, not made anymore. Yeah, that's same. That's what I'm using. Yeah, absolutely. Stick around to the channel. Subscribe if you haven't, because you're getting ready to see a full-blown Cakewalk tutorial course released here on the channel, which I've already got a playlist of over 54 videos that's nothing but Cakewalk tutorials, which are still going to be useful even after the change. So keep that in mind. I'm not sure about this yet, Leon, but I'm assuming it's going to be subscription-based just because that's kind of what everyone does. But you never know. They might go right back to like the old buy-up plan like they used to have. So, all right, here's a good one. VRC Sounds, by the way. We've got some more newcomers. I think VRC Sounds might have been here before. I'm not sure. But he says, what kind of camera do you use in your setup, and is there one that you would recommend for under 100? The Logitech C930, I think, is under 100 for like an actual webcam. In my setup, though, I'm actually using a Canon M50 Mark II with a HDMI cable going out of it into an Elgato Camlink 4K, which is giving you this crispy video that we're seeing right now. So I'm using a DSLR camera as my webcam, if I can get that out. That's funny. Marwin. Oh, okay. Okay, cool. Oh, he healed me. Oh, this is cool. Little praise report here. Healed me of MS and many other miracles in my life. So awesome to hear. Okay. That's a good question, because at one point in time they hired me, but it was like as a contract where I made like, I think it was like 8 videos for them. And it was videos that were on TikTok and somewhere else. YouTube Shorts. They just wanted short form videos. So they hired me for like 8 of those. And I was like, and it was for BandLab. And I don't even use BandLab. I mean, I do, but not. The Cyber Lion says, how did you stop? So literally I went to a church service that morning and I left clean. Like literally, like Jesus completely delivered me from all of that drug addiction, 8 years of drug addiction. I didn't have any withdrawals, no DTs, didn't crave a cigarette, didn't crave any of it. In fact, when I left that morning, my cigarettes were laying on top of the altar. I had my labrae, my septum, my tongue, both of my ears were pierced. That was laying on the altar. I left that day with just completely burned those bridges of my old lifestyle. And it was all gone. Crackley Software has a good response here. He says, I always say that I'm a technician, not a musician, but the distinction is not so important. Correct. So the VIP member has discontinued. No, essentially the VIP membership will still be, but you just won't have to pay for it now. It's going to be on the Discord channel, and it's going to be on Facebook, the Facebook group that you're already a part of, Leon. So it'll be everything that you've had up until this point. It just won't look the same because then I don't have to pay for that. So that's $150 a month I can save that I'm not paying for access or for the platform that you guys have to get in there and do that. We can still have the challenges. We can still have this, like the stuff that we've been doing within the VIP membership, and everything in the VIP membership is going to be on the Facebook group and on the YouTube channel, and making it all free. So I just read your Who Am I page. Look at your plugins later, and thanks. 𝗧𝗵𝗃 𝗧𝗵𝗃 says, how about calling on the VIP members to take the lead on things Robert used to do? Like, there was challenges like a 1 minute long songs or something like that. Yeah, absolutely. You guys, I mean, it's your group. Like, you could still have done that anyway. Like, I never once said, like, I'm the Lord over this group and you all will do as I say, and here's your challenge, you peons. No, that was never the case. And there was many people that were doing sort of like little challenges here and there and like collaborating with one another. That was always the premise behind it all anyway, was to get everybody just working together and having fun. So yeah, by all means, like, jump on the Facebook group and say, hey guys, let's do this. And just, if it's crickets, then that's one thing. But if a lot of people jump on, they're like, yeah, this is great, this is fun, by all means do it. And, if I see like there's individuals like kind of like DJ has been here on YouTube and on the Discord channel, he's always just like, I've never asked him to do any of this. He just jumped in and just out of the kindness of his heart started helping with posting links and stuff like that. And so I made him a moderator and said, okay, well, if you're going to be like that, like, awesome. Like, here's a little bit of power, like, help me out, use it. And I mean that by like, because he is a moderator, like, he can kick people from the chat if they're saying stuff that I don't get to, or he can post links. Like, you can't just come in here and post a link, but he can post links. So by all means, like, if people start to step up to the plate and start to take sort of the reins of stuff and start to create even more of a community aspect, then yeah, I'm going to be like, hey, I'm going to make you an admin of the page, or I'm going to make you a moderator on the page, or I'm going to, whatever it might be. And then you can actually like start making it yours. Like, that's what I wanted it to be in the beginning anyway. Like, I didn't want to just be like a dictatorship or, some kind of a hierarchy, an oligarchy. I wanted it to be like everyone works together to have a good time. So here's a J Max, by the way, first timer. He says, what are your thoughts on de-essing? Do you have a favorite de-esser or technique to calm harsh vocals, or just manually going through and automating the vocal? So manually automating the vocal is not going to help too much unless you're automating maybe an EQ plug-in or something like that. My thoughts on de-essing is you have to be very careful not to overdo it, because if you do, you start to sound like the person has a lisp and you can't take that out. The other aspect of that is if you have a favorite de-esser. So Soothe 2, it has a setting on there called Invisible De-esser that's absolutely amazing. But there's also a new plugin that just came out that I just covered here on the channel that actually does a really good job de-essing. It's called the T-de-esser, and it's really good. It has a look ahead feature. It's great. But really, typically all de-essers are under the hood, with the exception of Soothe 2, which is why I'm always like telling people you need to get this, because all of them are essentially just a dynamic EQ that just takes care of S's in that frequency range. So, okay. Yeah, the VX64 plugin in Cakewalk, that's a good de-esser. And if you don't have it, you should. It's probably in your hidden plugins menu. Awesome. So no, I'm not strong. That's why I needed Jesus Christ to help me to stop, because I could not. I tried to quit drinking. I tried to quit smoking pot. I tried to quit doing all the drugs that I was doing, and I never could. I would go good for maybe a week or two, and I'd fall right back into the same pit. But Jesus Christ is the one that literally saved my soul. Literally. Yep, exactly. Lean into the Spirit and rely not on the flesh, and God will move you. Yes. Well, thank you so much. Is there anyone who can help me in navigating the Discord channel? That's kind of a tough one, honestly, because, yeah, it's a little bit different. You'll get the hang of it, though, as you start to use it. But DJ actually is a really good, and it looks like he actually has already answered. So, yeah. Midnight Blue Music wants to know who won the last song contest. It's a secret. And as soon as they email me back, you all will know. Awesome. Thank you so much. I've got to hurry up and delete this comment. Quick. People are going to know. 𝗧𝗵𝗲 𝗧𝗵𝗲 going to make himself the dictator. You guys are crazy. Oh yeah. Yeah. So there is an audio feature of that. I've done that before too. It's easy to do. There's a text chat, there's a voice chat, and there's even a video chat on there. So it's very powerful. It's just trying to figure out how to actually use it all. The Rodecaster Pro 2, I can't speak on too much because the one that I got was bricked. I actually did a whole video on that, and I wish I could have gotten to use it because it actually looked like a really cool little unit. I couldn't use it. But I'm using the Rodecaster Pro right now, the original, the OG, the first one, and I would say it'd be awesome for live events. That's awesome that you find this uplifting, so thank you. Yes, actually it does. Awesome. Great to hear your journey. I had an artist that wanted me to produce this project. I told him under one condition, he had to write about his own personal journey and his overcoming drugs and addiction. Ooh, that's a cool way to do that. Yeah. What's going on, Old Bell? Good to see you. Awesome. Okay, so it looks like I've finally reached the bottom here of all the questions that needed to be. Man, it's got dark outside too. So yeah, looks like we've got through all of that. Hopefully you guys got something out of today's stream. Before we go ahead and end today's stream though, we do have to do something that we do around here every single time. Remember, we do have these live Ask Me Anythings once a month, usually, unless something else comes up. So, and it's usually not on the same, like it's not the third Thursday of the month or the fourth Thursday of the month or anything like that. But yeah, usually it's once a month. So with that being said, let's break out the Wheel of Awesomeness. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to spin the wheel. I'm 𝗧𝗵𝗲 𝗧𝗵𝗲 bringing you the Wheel of Awesomeness. That's right. When we spin, we'll do it again. What? We're not. What do you mean? We're only going to spin it once? goodness. All right, so it looks like it landed right in the smack dab middle, and Robert's over here telling me that we can't spin it twice. Well, I'm going to show him. Ladies and gentlemen, we got some trivia. All right, so here's some trivia for you. Oops, I just bumped the microphone. Hey, we have 24 concurrent viewers and 24 likes. That's amazing. Like, I don't think that's ever happened without me going, hey guys, remember to like the video. That's super cool. Let's see here. I'm going to find some good music trivia for you guys here today. Let's see. Oh, that one's too simple. We're not even going to do that. Okay, here we go. This one will be good too, considering the in light of recent events. Okay, so oops. Okay, so the trivia question for today is, where'd it go? Oh, what 1984 Tina Turner song was the title for the Oscar-winning film about the singer's life? I'll repeat that one more time. What 1984 Tina Turner song was the title for the Oscar-winning film about the singer's life? All right. Hey, no problem. I'm glad that I was able to Tuesday. I'm trying to go back here and see. Oh, Shepherd's Voice got it right off the bat. Oh, a lot of people got it right off the bat. Wow. What's love got to do with it? That's correct. You are correct. Nice. All right. Well, thank you all, ladies and gentlemen, for showing up to the stream today. I greatly appreciate each and every one of you. As we move on to this transitional journey that we're going on to, just keep in mind that everything is still going to be the same, just free. Okay? I love each and every one of you, and I'm glad that you were able to stop by tonight. Stay tuned until the next live stream or the next video comes out. Until next time, God bless each and every one of you.